In 2008, after making documentaries since 2000, director Irina Salina released the environmental documentary Flow for the Love of Water with producer Steven Starr, in which she detailed several ways human access to fresh water is being threatened. In Flow, she primarily focused on the problems caused by the privatization of water. The film is studied with activists and experts on the subject such as Peter Glick, Maud Barlow, Bill Alexander, and Vanda Shiva. Flow was released during a time where many sustainability documentaries were flooding the market. For example, A Crude Awakening, An Inconvenient Truth, Food Inc., and No Impact Man. Despite competing for consumers' attention with other acclaimed films, Flow for the Love of Water still manages to stand out. Not only did the film do well with audiences, it won the Grand Jury Award at the Mumbai International Film Festival, along with the Grand Jury Award for Best Documentary at the United Nations Film Festival. While some critics pointed out the film's attempt to push a large amount of information into 93 minutes, saying she can't quite jam it all in, and Flow might have been stronger had it not tried to cover so many water-related issues. Even its critics point out the powerful effect of the graphic, disturbing, terrifying realities of water in the 21st century. With these critiques and praises in mind, the film is rated at an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.7 on IMDb. There is also consensus among reviewers that by demonstrating the frightening effects of water privatization, Salina makes a strong case for the discontinuation of this practice. In Flow for the Love of Water, Irina Salina's inclusion of graphic imagery along with temporary solutions, particularly for marginalized communities, effectively demonstrates to viewers that the water crisis is an all-encompassing issue that can and needs to be addressed by all communities. Within her film, Salina includes evidence that the water crisis affects developing nations along with developed nations, claiming that in the United States, 40% of the things that you think of as a stomach virus or flu come from the drinking water. While showcasing the daily realities of living during the water crisis, Salina primarily includes graphic imagery from impoverished or marginalized communities. She leads her viewers through the long trek women endure to reach contaminated water in South Africa, neighborhoods covered in trash in India, and rivers filled with blood and sewage in Bolivia. In most of these images, there is one thing present consistently: children that are hiking with their mothers to get water, walking through the trash-covered streets, playing by the sewage-filled river. By presenting her audience with these devastating circumstances in which children find themselves trapped in, Salina is quickly gaining empathy from her viewers that do not feel the effects of the water crisis as directly as these impoverished communities do. While many other documentaries evoke empathy from their viewers with graphic imagery, Salina brings something to the table that many documentaries do not. She presents the way that marginalized communities have fought back, specifically from the privatization of water. According to Ryan Pilgrim and Russell Moff, many sustainability documentaries do not account for how vulnerable populations can have sustainable practices. This is best demonstrated when Salina shows the community in Bolivia whose river ran red and brown because of the privatization of their water. And after showcasing their fight against the government and water companies, Salina lets her audience know that the Bolivian people succeeded. While Salina does not make suggestions for how vulnerable populations can be sustainable, she is showcasing examples of how impoverished populations have taken back the power in their communities to become sustainable, demonstrating that it is possible for both privileged and vulnerable communities to address water waste and the water crisis in their own communities. This being said, Flow for the Love of Water is not without its flaws, one of the most noticeable being a flaw that it shares with other water-related documentaries. According to Eric Loomis, in The Global Water Crisis, Privatization and Neocolonialism in Film, water documentaries are notorious for oversimplifying the solution to the global water crisis, citing films such as A World Without Water, Blue Gold World Water Wars, and Mumbai Liquid City. In this case, Flow for the Love of Water is no exception, shown by how the film resolves, where the filmmakers ask the viewers to sign a petition that they launched. This petition is for the United Nations to declare the right to water to be a human right. While this may be somewhat effective, by pushing people to sign a petition, they will feel as if they have done all they can after it is done. While in reality, changes in activism and everyday life is what is needed to prevent the global water crisis from worsening.